Welcome to Mission Prep Football. I am Brian Stanley. We're back with another. My mic is.
Welcome to Mission College Prep Football. My name's Stephan. Hodges. Brian Stanley having some mic issues. Meanwhile, I'll be happy to take this over.
Oh, I see what
those of you who remember last season with long memories, it's been a little while. I'm back. Brian Stanley getting his mic fixed. I'm happy to be back with the Mission Prep Royals. But go ahead and introduce me in, Brian.
So the confusion is mic 2 is me. Mic 1 is you.
Oh, there we go. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
I got seniority.
So there we go there. So that's why that wasn't quite on par. But we are back. Mission Prep Football, Game 3 of the Ocean League for the 2021 special season. Your Mission Prep Royals hitting the road for the first time with a 2-0 record as we crumble up some paperwork we don't need. Joining me back in action, coming off the DL, shall we say, from Cal Poly.
I was going to say the DL, but not the DL. Look, just because they're down right now doesn't mean they're down for good. I'm back is the point. I have not missed any games I was not going to miss otherwise. I will not be missing any games going forward, which was always the plan because there's only one game left. I was going to be traveling this Friday. If you've been seeing the headlines, you know why that's not going to happen, but proud to be back with the Royals.
Our support is with Cal Poly as they have struggled in this unique season of football. But we're happy to be with you here as the Royals continue to surge on, looking to go 3-0 for the first time in 11-man football since 2015 when Coach Henry was the head coach of the Royals. Chad Henry, when the Royals went 3-0 in 11-man. The Royals finished that season 8-3, 4-0, claiming the Northern League Championship and receiving a Southern Section Northwest playoff berth. And last week, Stephen, we had a milestone for Coach Schuster and his program. It was the first time in school history, or in his history as head coach, that he's had two players rush for over 100 yards and each score 3 touchdowns.
I was going to say, I know for a fact that they had multiple players rush for 100 yards last season.
The caveat is the 3 touchdowns a pair.
Yeah. And exactly 3 touchdowns each. I mean, what a great performance put on by Jack Susank and Drew Harrigan. And the bad news is, if you're listening to this and you're not familiar, Mission Prep likes to go on these retreats. It's called Kairos. Jack Susank, one of the leaders on that Kairos set, talked to Coach David Schuster about it. He says that he's extremely proud of the leadership roles that his players take, as well as Caden Chaney, who's going to be out with that Kairos retreat for Holy Week. As if you're Catholic, you're well aware, or Christian of many denominations, well aware of that. They're both out, both leaders on that Kairos. Shows you where football stands in the Mission Prep community and the type of men that they're trying to produce out of this program. And as it stands, it's a tough spot missing 2 of your leaders, but they couldn't be more proud to be going out and being leaders of the community as a whole.
Correct. I went down on the field just before the broadcast and spoke with Coach David Schuster in his 4th season, carrying a record of 26-8 with the Royals. Asking him about this game, knowing that he doesn't have 2 of his leaders with him tonight. And he says this game is about determining where that intensity lies with the program. Does that intensity carry over from the first 2 games not having 2 of his leaders? Or does this crew here today take a step backwards? He's not worried about what Pioneer Valley is going to do as Coach John Beck has implemented a new program within the Pioneer Valley football organization, both offensively and defensively, changing the scheme of the program. Being the first game, there's no tape on them. So nobody knows what to expect today, Stephen.
And you look overall what John Beck's going to build. You know, he came in last season. They went 1-9, but he is running a season he's not particularly comfortable with. He was dealing with the transition. He wasn't particularly prepared to take on at that time. It's weird coming in at May where you don't have that spring training, and all of a sudden you're scrambling to get summer together, and by the time you get that together, you're into the season. So really this is going to be a chance for them to prove what that program is going to look like going forward.
And as we play the national anthem here in Pioneer Valley Stadium. We will take a break with them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Prep Sports Network, live on YouTube and Spreaker for all those joining us across the Central Coast and around the nation, maybe around the world. I know we have a follower, a big fan out on the East Coast or Midwest, shall we say. Want to give a shout out to Charles Summer, our colleague on Slowpoke Sports. So in pregame here, I'd like to give a shout out to Kevin Hitchin, Coach David Schuster, and Chris Sylvester, as well as our cameraman, Thomas Bowden. I almost forgot his name for a second. So many names in my head today, Stephen. I also like to thank Lorenzo Reyna for filling in while you were out taking care of duties at Cal Poly. So we are about to get underway as the teams, or shall I say, Pioneer Valley about to come out on the field out of the Panther blow-up unit. Expecting a little bit more excitement out of that entrance onto the field. Stephen, they just kind of jogged out.
I mean, it's tough when you're not doing it in front of a crowd. I get it. There's sparse, at best, entries into this area, but looks like, more than I expected. I didn't expect anyone out here. I wasn't exactly filled in on the attendance policies. I just knew I was going to be here.
You can be here. We have our captains on the field meeting at midfield. For Pioneer Valley is senior quarterback Angel Vargas Hernandez, and for Mission Prep, junior lineman Caleb Alalem. Did I say that right?
I believe it's Allen, but yes. Good enough for me. I'm sure we're going to hear
Alalem. I've been pronouncing it Alalem, and you haven't been here to correct me because you know these names, sir.
I've only been out to practice once so far this year, so I can't really say a lot on that. Looks like the Pioneer Valley Panthers won the toss, decided to defer. Mission Prep will start with the ball.
And that's something that they've done well with this season. If you look at their scoring in the 4 quarters that they've played since the start of the season, total of 8 quarters of play. In the first quarter, Mission Prep has outscored their opponents 28-0. So Mission Prep looking to get on the board here early. And in the first half, they have held their opponents to only 1 field goal. So teams are about to meet at midfield for the kickoff. The officials are ready. Hi, Brian Stanley, ready? Stephen Hodges, you ready?
Oh, I've been waiting for this for months.
Thomas, you ready? Got a thumbs up from Thomas. Coaches are ready. Let's get this underway. We are in my hometown, a beautiful sight to see on this wonderful special Wednesday broadcast of Mission Prep football on Prep Sports Network and Spreaker. Thank you for joining us as I'm running out of words to say here for this pregame.
I mean, it's a beautiful day here on the south side of the Santa Maria River. I think Pioneer Valley has got one of the most underrated skylines. I'll go ahead and zoom out. I've got a little control over this camera setup.
I will say
go
that
ahead and move that on over.
The fact that you're here takes a little weight off my shoulders. I'm not managing the computer system that runs our video. That is your job while I manage the audio, and Thomas manages the cameras.
Yeah, and we're getting ready for kickoff here. We'll go ahead and transition you over for that. And I tell you what, beautiful day, just under 80 degrees. It's starting to cool off in the evening breeze, which I'm sure you can hear through the mics. And you can't ask for anything better than this. Sure, it's a weird time for football, but any time for football works for me. It's a great day to be a Royal.
Back to receive for the Royals today, George Kardashian and Drew Harrigan. Royals will be defending and receiving in the south end zone. A short squib kick coming up to the 20. Harrigan drops it, falls on it at the 21-yard line, and the Royals will start first and 10 from the 21-yard line, going right to left, heading north towards San Luis Obispo for the first touchdown.
And I tell you what, it's how the Royals would want it to go. You want to have that control in your hands when you're dealing with a team that's got a lot of high anxiety coming into this game. Is this new system going to work? What's football going to look like with some of the seniors gone? As a lot of these players are doing multiple sports, they don't have a full roster, which is a common theme across the Central Coast. Pioneer hasn't played a game yet. They're raring to go. And you got the ball. You got a chance to squash that a little bit. So Mission Prep's got to feel pretty good right now.
Kobe White under center, quick snap, hands it off to the right side. Drew Harrigan gains a yard, brings up 2nd and 9 for the Royals.
Drew Harrigan coming into this game with 228 yards already on the season. That's through the first 2 games. 4 touchdowns. I mean, as a freshman, that is unbelievable. This is a guy that came in being asked to fill some mighty shoes in Dalton Strauss and Brian Kowal. Both those guys put up phenomenal performances last year. Drew Harrigan's picking up right where they left off.
Right where they left off is key for this backfield. Again, under center is White. A receiver to each side, 2 in the backfield. Tight end in motion from right to left. Here's the snap. Handoff again to Harrigan, and he is taken down for a gain of 1.
That tight end you're mentioning, Owen Harrison, one of the key parts of that offensive line that was so good last week against the Atascadero Greyhounds. The entire O-line earning Offensive Player of the Game honors from the coaching staff this last week within the Mission Prep ranks.
2 plays, 2 yards for the Royals, facing 3rd and 8. Scoreboard says 3rd and 7. They gave him 2 yards on that last carry officially. 3rd and 7. 2 plays, 3 yards. 7 to go for a first down. Hound off to Harrigan. Harrigan once again, and Harrigan does not gain enough for the first down, but gains enough for a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, Harrigan unable to get a lot of momentum there, and he got behind the big guys on the line. That's what you want to do, but he is a little far from the first down marker in order to just say, you know, we're going to push this pile forward. Here's going to be one of the big cruxes of this game. Is the kicking game going to be as good without Jack Susank's leg behind it?
And the kicking unit out for the punt, 4th and 3. The punt is off, and punting today is Cage Cheney for the Royals, and that punt rolls out of bounds at the Pioneer Valley 45, and that's where they'll pick up with first down.
Pioneer Valley's offense taking the field for the first time this season, and this has been the big question is, with this Silver T, the rumored offense they're bringing in, the Silver T, something that they run down at Lompoc, ran at Cabrillo for a long time, very popular among high school ranks. Is that going to be able to get the momentum they need to push forward? It's not all that dissimilar from the systems that Pioneer Valley used to run when the school first opened, real heavy power run concepts. I'm looking forward to see how this transition went.
And this is a team that's looking to come back after a winless league season last year in the Pac-4 league. And then snap by Angel Hernandez, and running up the middle for enough for the first down is running back Daniel Avila.
Yeah, Daniel Avila just got behind those big pulling guards for Pioneer Valley. 2 lead blockers on that kind of outside run play, opening up a lot of room, and there really wasn't a lot that Michigan could do once that got into motion. They just got hit by the wave.
17-yard gain for Avila gives them the first down, being the Panthers. Run up the middle once again. Tommy Nunez, the ball carrier this time.
I expect Tommy Nunez to be in the crosshairs of this offense the entire night. He is the guy coming back from last year. Had almost 1,000 yards last year, a little bit, more than 800, so almost 1,000 is a bit of a reach, but fantastic on a team that really struggled. They went 1-9, and you put up those types of yards as the running back, it means you're a major part of this team and probably got some good running talent behind you.
Angel Vargas Hernandez working from under center. Handoff to Tommy Nunez. And Nunez gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. No gain, or a short gain that is. We'll give him a gain of 1.
Yeah, going right up the gut there. I think Mission's starting to get their cleats in the ground, but it's coming a little bit late. It's going to be a 3rd and short. Pioneers shows a strong propensity to keep on this run game. They're coming out with heavy sets. They've run the ball each time they've been out there. I don't see a reason for them to start passing it now.
First drive of the season for the Panthers. They're looking for their second first down, 3rd and 1 from the 30-yard line. Rolling out, the ball pops up the air, able to keep his hands on it is Avila as he scrambles trying to look for the first down, but this time is swallowed up in the backfield for a loss of 1. And that brings up 4th down for the Panthers.
And this is a must-go for the Panthers. They're a team that has gotten a lot of yardage out in front of them. They've moved the ball very well. You're at the point where it's going to be a 47-yard kick, which is very long for high school. Go for it here. You're not going to be exchanging that much field position if you fail to make it.
And Vargas Hernandez still working from under center. And his center today is Roman Becerra. And the handoff to Avila up the middle. The two primary backs today for the Panthers are Avila and Nunez. And Avila gains enough for the first down.
Keep that dive play in mind, because you look at the motion that we're seeing from Vargas Hernandez, that quarterback there, really implies that they're going to be running some play action off of that. It's easy to ask, why wasn't the safety involved? Well, easily. If the quarterback still has the ball there, huge damage potential on a deep pass threat. I think the Panthers really have a good understanding of this offense. They're running it as if they've been running it for years.
Snap, handoff to Nunez. Nunez scoots out to the right side, and he is taken down by the defense. Connor Lopez leading the attack for the Royals.
Connor Lopez getting in and bringing him down. It's one of those tough things when you're tackling someone from behind, because you got to get your hands just right. You don't want to horse collar someone. Gets his hands on the shoulder pads legally, brings him down with his own body weight. It's a safe tackle, a good tackle. Probably wanted to make it happen a little bit earlier, but as long as you bring him down, that's what you're trying to do in that tackling situation.
And a correction on the play that gave them the first down, that was Mendez carrying that ball. And Mendez again moving the ball.
Yeah, Caden Elmerick out there making that tackle, and David Schuster taking a timeout here, as this team has been really kind of coming out to a slow start. They're going to be trying to find new ways to make this work, because the defense really hasn't been up to the challenge so far. That right edge, left edge, if you're looking from the defensive perspective, needs to tighten up a little bit. It's a fixable mistake, something that should be able to just change around a little bit, move the personnel, but tough spot right now.
Tough spot. We'll go ahead and take the quick timeout with them. You're listening to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. And we're back under action, 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 13-yard line. And a scrub pile down the right hash mark. And Mendez gains a couple yards on that carry as he heads to the sideline. Tommy Nunez comes in for the replacement.
And talk about a change right there. We were talking about how the left side of the defense's perspective, left side, was a little bit softer. Mario Loera right there, getting in the backfield, getting his hands on early, that makes a huge difference for a running back. When you're under attack in the backfield, much tougher to get those yards.
Panthers stacked on the right side. 2 running backs in the backfield, handoff to Nunez, and Nunez just gobbled up, and he doesn't have the ball. He tricked me, and Avila carries that ball for just enough, possibly the first down. We might see the sticks come out here for the measurement.
And George Kardashian making that final tackle there, and that's kind of what you want to do against the veer. Take away that first option, that's the dive, then take away the second option as the quarterback's carrying around the edge, make him pitch it. Those pitches are dangerous each and every time they happen. You really don't want that to happen if you're running the veer. And that pitch got out correctly. It's the right read, don't get me wrong. And George came up and made the tackle, forces a third down.
They keep the sticks on the sidelines, 3rd down and short for the Panthers. Hand off to Tommy Nunez. The ball's on the ground, fumble. And the Panthers look like they lose it and signaling Royals ball. Royals coming up with the fumble recovery. And that defense has been strong on those recoveries all season long. That is their 8th turnover recovered this season.
They're going to feel good about that coming off the field, which is good. They gave up a lot of yards, but ultimately got the turnover. They forced that pitch. The pitch wasn't good. As we talked about, it's a dangerous thing pitching the ball as a quarterback. There, forces a turnover, recovered by the Royals. Great discipline by the Royals, keeping attacking through that drive.
And under center is White. And White hands it off, got some room, and gets away from the goal line is Drew Harrigan. Gives the offense some breathing space as he brings it out to the 13-yard line.
This is what I like about the Mission Prep offense and defense. The entire coaching staff, really, they're willing to adapt. They're willing to make changes. Here we see some small changes up front on who's attacking who, and suddenly that space that wasn't there on that first drive where they went 3 and out, major openings for the offense. Mission Prep keeps adapting early. They're not waiting for halftime. It's paying off dividends.
Receiver to each side, 2 backs in the backfield, rolling out to his right. Pass is complete, gaining some room downfield. Down the sideline, past the 30, and he's taken out of bounds. Owen Harrison with that completed pass.
Yeah, Owen Harrison had 1 catch this year for 9 yards. That's much more than 9 yards there. I got to do some math to figure that out. But quick here, looks like there's going to be an injury. As well as
we're trying to do the math. I'm looking for the penalty. I hear
penalties by the 49-yard line. I got it picture in picture here.
Okay, there it is. I see it. So the penalty, the ball is moved back from the spot of the foul. And we're going to go back 10 yards for holding. So that would have been, explain to me, this is one I always get messed up on, Stephen. You always correct me and I never get it right. The ball was at the 13, it went to the 48.
13 to the 48, that's going
to be
where the
35-yard
line. So it's going to be 35-yard reception, 10 yards of penalty yards, 25 total yards for the offense. But Owen Harrison, as we said, he came in with only 1 catch. We knew how dangerous he was. We saw some of those throws earlier in the year, and they just ended up falling short or, ending up not in his hands, overthrows, underthrows. That connection, perfect. And it's such a bummer because it looks like Owen is down on the sideline getting some assistance from the trainers.
And while he's getting looked at on the sideline, let's go ahead and take a quick break. And we'll be right back. You listen to Prep Sports Network on PSN. And back on his feet is Owen Harrison as he walks to the sideline. And the way the yardage works on a penalty is the yardage counts to the spot of the penalty. And then they mark off the penalty after that. So a 35-yard reception for Owen Harrison. And the shotgun snap to White. White hands it off. And a short gain for the Royals. And Drew Harrigan with that carry.
Yeah, I expect Drew Harrigan to get a large share of the carries here tonight because Jack Susank's out. Jack has been playing fairly evenly with him. Jack is 19 rushes to Harrigan's 22. But expect some of the other running backs to get involved, and in particular David Luera, who has got 12 rushes so far this year through the 2 games.
And White gets a lot of workout on the field as he runs to the sidelines to get the call. And he's back in under center. Hand off to Harrigan. Harrigan gets stopped at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. He'll get forward motion and a gain of 1 for the Royals. Chipping away as they've got 3rd down and 8.
Knowing how this offense likes to operate, I'd expect them to try and chip it twice rather than try and get that entire 3rd down yardage here. Coach Schuster's not afraid of going for it on 4th down, in particular when it's around midfield or into plus territory, which in this case would be Pioneer Valley territory. So with the 1st down marker at the 48, expect them to try and go for it if they get anywhere close to that marker.
Ball spotted on the right hash at the 40-yard line. And a fumble at the line of scrimmage. A dog pile to get the ball. And as the officials sort it out, they give the ball to Pioneer Valley. And the first turnover for the Royals today goes in as the Panthers come up with the ball in their own territory, or in the Royals territory, that is.
Well, the knife cuts both ways. That's how they got the ball to start, was by a miscommunication by the quarterback here. A not great snap. I'm not sure if it's the center. Wasn't sure if it's quarterback there, Colby White, or if it was Gabe Rodriguez. But either way, ball ends up on the ground, the worst nightmare for the offense, and Pioneer picks it up.
Angel Hernandez working under center. Takes a snap, hands it off. Trying to run between the tackles is the running back, and that running back today is Tommy Nunez.
Pioneer Valley really testing the right side of their offense. They're getting a lot of yardage moving behind that large right tackle, Eric Lopez, 6'6", 270. There's no question why. And Mission Prep, you can say all the praises you want. You know, they're 2-0. A lot of things have been going right. But the line is a little bit undersized. And we might be seeing that matchup face, be up against them all day. Right now, Lopez up at the left center, or left tackle, rather.
Hands off to Tommy Nunez, or excuse me, to Avila on the fake. And Avila gains 4 yards, 3rd and 1 for Pioneer Valley.
If I'm Mission Prep right now, I'm watching where Eric Lopez lines up because he's switching from right tackle to left tackle. Well, they're going from right to left. They're going to start going to the left side when he's on the left, right side when he's on the right. That's a major key. A lot of people don't talk about how you watch the offensive line as a linebacker. I'm watching where Eric Lopez is. Right now he's on the left. Let's see what they do.
In the backfield is Nunez and Avila. Vargas Hernandez gives it to Nunez this time, and Nunez is stuffed at the line. No gain. That brings up 4th and 1, and we could see, nope, no kicking team this time. Scoreless here in the first quarter. The time on the clock, 1:15 and counting.
Yeah, we talked about that. This is that kind of must-go area in football where in high school you don't got that kicker with the leg.
4th and 2. Takes the under center snap, gives it to Nunez, and Nunez scoots out to the left side, out past the numbers, trying to get enough for the 1st down, and they're calling it a turnover on down, saying he came up short of the yardage. And that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Royals at the 30-yard line. As we go the other direction. 57.3 seconds remain on the clock here in the first quarter. And if the ball stays with the Royals through the remainder of the quarter, they have another first quarter this season that they've kept their opponents scoreless.
Well, with how much Mission Prep runs the ball, you bet that that's a very real possibility.
Shotgun snap for White. Quick pass out to the left side. That pass is complete. And taken out of bounds is Tyler Garrett. A nice pickup for him, gaining 9 yards on the completion.
Eric Cruz for the Panthers, the first one to make contact, followed by Tommy Nunez to finish it off. And if Eric Cruz wasn't there, there was a lot of room out there to run. Eric Cruz getting just enough so that the other Panthers can come in. It emphasizes the importance of gang tackling at the high school level, where you can't expect one guy to always finish the job.
Officially spotted at an 8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2. 17 seconds remain in the opening frame. White under center, rolls out to the right side. A lob pass, and that pass is intercepted by the Panthers. And the Royals have turned it over for the second time here in the first quarter. And coming up with the pick is Andreas Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas did a good job tracking the receiver there and then getting his eyes to the ball. And as much as I love the Mustangs, and we talked about it, it's something that we didn't see a lot from the Mustangs' defensive backs. And you can see here how important it is. Tracks to the ball, get his hands up. He was in better position to make that catch than the wide receiver. And as a defensive back, it's a dream come true.
So Kobe White's first incomplete pass is an interception. And we have a flag on the play. A delay of game on the offense. Correction, too many men on the field?
Illegal substitution, I think. I think they may have broken the huddle with too many men. I was juggling the camera responsibilities. This is a small production. I'm not going to lie.
Broke the huddle with too many men was what it was. And coming off the field as one of the players to too many was Aiden Rubakava. 6.7 seconds, first quarter. Angel Vargas Hernandez under center, hands it off. A 5-yard penalty. 1st and 15 here in the first quarter. And carrying the ball for the Panthers to close out the first quarter, Richard Cardenas.
Yeah, right now Mission's got to find some answers for some questions they got going on. Offense not particularly producing at a high level. Drew Harrigan's had a couple good carries, but that's it. The defense having issues matching the size of Pioneer. Something that we knew was going to be an issue with the Royals coming into this year. A little undersized on the line, but they've been able to work angles in the past well enough to make it work. And so far, we've been seeing a lot of struggle with the Panthers, or the Royals defense. So going into the second half, I expect to see the Royals to adjust that defense, maybe put a little bit more pressure, slant the running backs towards the sides of Eric Lopez. Rare when you see an offensive lineman pull that kind of attention, but I think it's called for in this case.
Called for indeed, and an impressive stat so far for the Royals, holding their opponents scoreless in the first quarter. They have yet to allow a touchdown through the first 3 quarters of a contest. Let's see if that trend continues here against the Panthers. The Panthers very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball with the running attack. A total of 14 plays, all run plays.
Had a little bit of a delay. The chain did not get set correctly. I can get a shot of what's going on there. So the ribbon's supposed to mark the nearest 5-yard line when you're doing chain gang. Looks like the ribbon was not directly on a 5-yard line, so they had to adjust where the chains were, and that's actually affecting the yardage. It's going from a 2nd and 10 to a 2nd and 11.
It was 2nd and 11 to begin with.
So they're getting it right is what's happening.
As Cardenas gained 4 yards on his pickup to end the first quarter. And that brings the Panthers across the 35. As Tommy Nunez picks up a few more. That is a 3rd and 5, a 6-yard pickup for Nunez. 8 carries for Nunez so far in this game, 27 yards unofficially.
Yeah, the senior trying to make a big impact on his senior year, as we know it was under threat for quite some time.
3rd and 5 as we're just kick off the second quarter. Vargas Hernandez hands it off, and running up the right side past the numbers across the 40 is Avila, and Avila gets met by a wall of defenders before taken down while gaining the first down in the process.
If you listened last year, you know what a big fan I am of the Loera twins. Mario Loera making some big impact on the backfield there, forcing the running back to reroute. He's got to get the next level to come back and give him some help there. That tackle could have happened close to the line of scrimmage, and that would have prevented a first down there.
1st and 10 at the 42. Handoff met at the line of scrimmage. Nunez not going anywhere.
Caleb Cajas coming in and making the tackle there, and we talk about, maybe that's Kyle Hawk coming in and making the tackle, sliding off his block to make it happen. That's the type of stuff we talk about when you're talking about facing bigger lines, is getting off those blocks as quickly as possible. Going up against a big guy, don't let him get his hands on you.
Handoff again in the back from the backfield, and Nunez trying to get around, and he gets a big push to gain a few yards, and giving Nunez the push is Gavin Gomez.
Yeah, you talk about penalties that don't get thrown. That's technically illegal what happened right there. You should have been marked back where that push happened. You're not allowed to push your player forward in the back, but it's like those rules with artificial noisemakers and face paint. You're never going to meet a referee that's going to throw that flag, but it's really frowned upon.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, you're exactly. It's frowned upon, but it happens. And Avila with the handoff this time, outside the hash marks in between the number. And he gains a few more yards, just shy of the first down. That's a 5-yard pickup for Avila.
And with how successful this run game has been for the Panthers, they're going to go for it here. I pinch all the defensive linemen if I'm mission prep. Make sure that none of those inside gaps are available and force them to try and flick it out to the side like they did on the first drive that led to that turnover.
4th and 1, 9:25 on the clock, second quarter. We are scoreless. And the keeper, no good. As Vargas Hernandez comes up short.
And you know, that looks bad because you don't get the first down, and people are going to say, why didn't he, push forward or pitch it out? But all those situations that we were just talking about, he pushed as hard as he could, couldn't get it there. The first option of the dive, taken away by mission prep, pinching the D-line. You flick it to the side, that could be a scoop and score for the mission prep defense. Good job limiting the damage by Vargas Hernandez. It really hurts to not get the first down. It's not something that you're proud to say, hey, I limited the damage when you really want to get the first down, but a good job by the quarterback there.
9:16 on the clock, second quarter. Royals with the ball under center as White hands it off to Drew Harrigan. And Harrigan gains enough for 3 yards. And Harrigan, the only running back to touch the ball so far in this game for the Royals.
And that's something I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep sustainable. Harrigan's still a freshman. He's not as far along. I expect to see someone else to get involved. They did try out their passing game for a little bit. We saw them go to that spread set late in the first quarter. I expected them to go back to that. Well, they're getting guys open. It's just a matter of getting that ball complete. I mean, the one completion so far, that deep ball to Owen Harrison, beautiful situation, wide open. I think they got to keep that passing game mixed in if they're going to keep Drew Harrigan going as well as he can go.
Receiver to each side. Garrett on the left. Handoff. Found some room. Has Drew Harrigan, and he gains enough for a first down before a big collision for the tackle.
What an acting job by Colby White. As soon as he pulled the ball up and faked the ball to one side, the entire defense moved and then allowed the entire offensive line to just scoop their guys away. And what ends up happening when you get that good of a scoop, you can't actually run through it. There's no holes for the defense to come back and fix their mistake. Great job by Colby White selling it, and a better job by the offensive line finishing it out.
The pitch taken down in the backfield. That was going nowhere to David Andrade. And cleaning that up in the backfield for the Panthers, Adrian Mora.
Andrade's third carry of the year. He has 16 yards so far, had a 10-yard long That's going to bring down his average, but I think an 8-yard run average is a little high and unsustainable, but still a bold move, pitching the ball to the sophomore that's got a club on one hand. Good thing that he didn't turn the ball over, considering how hard it is to take that ball controlled to the ground when you just got it in your hands.
2nd and 15 from the Panthers 45, 7:31. We are scoreless here in the second quarter. And a flag on the play. Delay of game on Mission Prep. No penalty. Coach Schuster snuck in that timeout.
Yeah, the flag got thrown, but I think Schuster had that internal clock and was trying to get the attention of the referees. Just didn't get to that back judge. He's only looking at the clock.
Yeah, that's generally how it works out. You know, you have one referee that gets the timeout, then they confer. We see that in the NFL all the time, as the coach is watching the clock and the referee's right next to him, and he'll call the timeout, but the official, the back judge or the front judge, will call the flag, but they're not with the coach.
Of all the things that could be solved if we were psychic, right? Like having the delay of game penalty near the top of the list. The thing, you know, every so often it'll come out, the flag gets thrown. If they could just somehow mentally conference, it would be one of those small things that, you know,
what if they give the coaches a timeout button?
Timeout button. Oh, no. Because then you get into, well, I didn't mean to hit the timeout button. You're trying to give your guy a rest, but the timeout's already happening. People were already talking. Read an article today about how in basketball they had a real issue where you could just call a timeout when you didn't have any, and the referee was going to listen to it for a small era of college basketball. Really interesting read.
And the lights have been turned on here at Pioneer Valley as they warm up. We are back under action. 7:22 coming out of the timeout here in the second quarter. Scoreless, 2nd and 15 for Mission Prep. The handoff to White as he steps back, fakes it. Throw out to Garrett. Garrett gets some contact from the defender and unable to make the catch. Great coverage by Andreas Vargas, who has one interception today.
I tell you what, Tyler Garrett's got to be a little bit upset about that. The referee's probably telling him it wasn't a catchable ball, but the route that he was running until he got rerouted, he was perfectly clear to get there. Just got bumped a little bit by the defensive back, and I'm not sure I believe that was an entirely, you know, established position. And I think that was a catchable ball. So a good argument by the Royals, but do not get the flag there.
As White sets the scheme in the offense, coming out of the huddle. We have two receivers to the right, two to the left, spread offense, and a whistle and a flag. Royals called for the delay of game this time. That one seemed a little fast.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going on with that clock, because we had that late delay of game the first time, ended up being called a timeout by Coach Schuster. This time, it just felt early. I don't know. I've got a decent clock on this, and it felt like there just wasn't enough time elapsed. So this could be a situation where the 40 and the 25 got switched on the watch, something like that. But that was a little quick to me, but again, I'm not the guy back there. He knows what he's doing.
2nd and 15, third and 20, 7:15 on the clock. There we go. And a pass to the left side is complete for a 15-yard gain. And Tyler Garrett coming up with the catch.
This is where you do the equation of, is it worth giving your defense 15-ish yards of runway to avoid turning it over here? I mean, it's really a gambler's decision. 4th and 5 is a very deep hole to dig yourself out of.
But the defense has stopped Pioneer Valley twice on 4th down, creating the turnover on downs. Working from the shotgun, high snap, keeping the ball and stuff. Breaks away. The tackle is White. White trying to keep on his feet, shaking away another tackle, and he's finally taken down in the backfield for a loss of 6. With flag comes out. Probably a helmet-to-helmet contact there. It looked like he got tagged last second.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is here. It could just as easily be a some sort of defensive call or an offensive call. They're going to confer, but this may have bailed Mission Prep out of a very deep hole. White didn't get anywhere near the line of scrimmage. That is his 10th carry of the year. He has 42 yards so far. That would have been a large loss as we get the call here. And as you said, helmet to helmet on Pioneer Valley.
4th and 5 turns into a 1st and 10 for the Royals following that helmet-to-helmet contact. Every now and again, I do get one of those calls right.
I tell you what, it's a tough call. It's best for player safety, but boy, did that bail out Mission Prep. They had a long 4th down that they were trying to convert, got caught in the backfield. Things weren't going the way they wanted, and now fresh set of downs deep in Pioneer Valley territory.
1st and 10 from the 27 of Pioneer Valley. White hands it off, running out to his right outside the numbers is Drew Harrigan, shakes off a couple tackles before he's pushed out of bounds at the 25.
Mission Prep doing everything they can to get Drew Harrigan a successful look to run the ball. We've seen how dangerous he is in the open field. 3 touchdowns last week against Atascadero, and a fantastic showing for him. But they're not quite getting it there. Outside, not a lot of rooms. Defensive backs coming in and doing great on their run fits. Inside, I think that they're just not getting those angles that they got against Atascadero and Napomo to find that room on the inside. They got to work a little harder.
And here's the pass out to Garrett. He's trying to get to the 1st down, and he lets it go. The fumble and the turnover goes to Pioneer Valley following the 5-yard pickup on the pass play.
Yeah, Richard Cardenas gets the ball delivered directly into his hands. That's a heartbreaker, but you know, I'm sure the Pioneer fans right there are saying ball don't lie. They got kind of bailed out earlier. Here we see the ball just go right back to Pioneer a little bit deeper. And I tell you what, that's one that they probably should have had. I mean, Tyler Garrett should have had that on his hands a little bit more. We're going to see if they get back to that game and give him another look. I think he's deserved it. He had some room out there.
Pioneer Valley collects their 2nd turnover on defense as Nunez runs out to his left, finds some room out to the 30, 35, the 40, trying to make his way to midfield before he's dragged out of bounds. And the big man dragging him out of bounds, Connor Lopez, dragging him out at the 45.
And we see there how dangerous Tommy Nunez is when he gets the open space. You don't get over 800 yards rushing without having that 2nd gear. Once he got past the line of scrimmage, he got into the open field and made some major yardage happen. Good job by the offensive line up front, giving him that look. Better job by Tommy Nunez turning on those jets.
22-yard pickup for Nunez as the official gets in place. First and 10 from their own 45. Rolling out, looking for a pass, keeps it himself is Vargas Hernandez. And Vargas Hernandez gains 5.
And right there, you're seeing Vargas Hernandez just doing what he can to make the play happen. Not a great look for him downfield. So just finding the space, getting out of bounds, and he took a big hit as he went out too. And you could see the Pioneer rallying around their captain as he gets back into the formation.
Spotted at 4 yards on the left hash mark. Just the Pioneer Valley side on the 49, trying to find some room to get across the 50. Are the Panthers, and coming up with that one to get them across the 50, 2-yard gain for Avila.
Yeah, left side of the defense doing a good job slowing down Avila there, and it was ultimately Tyler Garrett coming down from the free safety position to make the tackle. Good job coming out of that coverage, coming out, recognizing the run, and getting that run fit to stop the ball.
2 backs in the backfield, receiver to the left. Handoff up the middle, the ball comes loose, flag on the play. And losing that ball, Ronaldo Garcia Martinez. Correction, that's going to be Richard Cardenas losing the ball. Panthers able to maintain possession. Chop block by the Panthers.
Yeah, illegal block against the Panthers. That's going to be a major deal But losing that ball in the middle, I mean, I don't know what happened with these footballs. Maybe something was going on, but a lot of fumbles happening early in this game as Pioneers fumbled a handful of times. Mission Preps lost the ball. And when they're getting lost, it's not just popping out. It's a yakety sax moment. That ball's flying through the air, and someone's going to get their hands on it.
And that's Pioneer Valley's second 15-yard penalty, one on offense, one on defense. Brings up a 3rd and 18 as Vargas Hernandez rolls out looking for a pass. Tries to dump it out to Tommy Nunez. And Nunez, the ball's thrown beyond Nunez's fingertips.
Yeah, so that's why those running back swing passes are harder than they seem. It's really a touch pass in most cases. You just want to get it out of your hands so it can softly get into the running back's hands. A little bit of a bullet there, and that's going to end up bringing up 4th down. So it's very tough to figure out, and just a feeling play that I'm sure he's getting a hang of.
Aroth Acosta out to punt for Pioneer Valley. The first punt of this game at the 5-minute mark in the second quarter. 4th and 18. The ball spotted at the 37 of Pioneer Valley. Here's the snap and the punt. This one's a good punt across the 50. Dumps into the 35, past the 30, past the 25, into the 20, and rolls out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
So Mission Prep, first goal here, get yardage. Obviously, you want to get yardage, you want to get a score, do as much damage as you can on offense. Second goal, try and keep Pioneer off the ball for the rest of this half. 4:48 left, as you can see in the picture. And obviously, under 5 minutes, you want to hold that ball as long as you can. Make sure that Pioneer doesn't get another crack to try and score here. This is as important as keeping them off the board, trying to just move that ball, keep the clock moving.
Pioneer Valley in 2 second quarters has scored 21 points. Trying to add to that as Drew Harrigan gains a yard on the carry.
It's been boom or bust for the Royals so far as the rushing game goes. They're either going to get a couple yards, maybe somewhere get stopped near the line of scrimmage, or they're going to be breaking it wide open. Drew Harrigan's been doing a good job making sure that there's no negative plays, but they got to find ways to open up that space a little bit more and get more positive plays at 3-4 yards at least.
2nd and 8, shotgun snap to White. White getting some pressure, tries to roll out, breaks the tackle. Up the middle, White keeps it himself. Out to the 25, the 30, finding some room, the 40. Trying to find it across midfield, the 50. And he steps out at the 50-yard line for a 29-yard pickup.
Being able to run the ball is such a must for a Mission Prep quarterback. Not only are they mainly a running team, but the veer, making improvised plays like that happen, all important characteristics that Coach Schuster looks for in his quarterbacks, and he's got it with Colby White. Saw him take off here. He made that improvised play that ended up getting them a penalty earlier in this half. He's doing a great job keeping his eyes downfield for when things don't go right.
And that 29-yard carry by White, the longest run play of the day for the Royals. Shotgun snap to White, looking to pass, deep pass on the left side. Garrett pulls this one in at the 20-yard line and is taken down at the 19. Officially spotted. They give it to him at the 17-yard line. A 33-yard gain for the Royals on that pass play.
This is where missing Jack Susank makes things very interesting for the Royals because your field goal distance is much different. I'm not sure who the place kicker is going to be. It might be Gage Chaney, but where he hits in practice is going to determine your decision-making here. They might be fine trying to grind it out as long as they get to grind the clock with it, moving towards that goal line and just kick it whenever they get stopped, or they could go for it all.
Handoff to Larrera. David Larrera, no gain. His first carry of the game.
And David Larrera is that third running back in the rotation behind Drew Harrigan and Jack Susank. So Harrigan getting a little bit of a breath. He's out there at the slot receiver position when they're in that spread set. But, if you watched last year, the running back may not be the prime target there. But David Luera, definitely a capable running back in his own means. We've seen how good he is on defense. Here we're seeing how good he is on offense.
Pass into the corner. Lob pass. Garrett pulls it in. Touchdown, Pioneer Valley. 17-yard completed touchdown between White and Garrett.
We talk about the mismatches along the offensive and defensive lines for Mission Prep. Undersized but aggressive is the way Coach Schuster likes to talk about that line. Here we see a positive mismatch in size. I'm not sure anyone on the Pioneer Valley defensive backcourt is going to be able to cover Tyler Garrett on that corner route. Just reaches up, climbs the ladder, and pulls it down for a touchdown. What a great job by the wide receiver recognizing the mismatch, as well as the quarterback, of course, recognizing it and throwing that ball.
Flag on the play. Another illegal substitution in this ball game. One for each team now.
And this could be points because, again, you're dealing with a kicker that you're not used to, Gage Cheney, coming in instead of Jack Susank. Moving that ball back, it's now going to be the equivalent of a 25-yard field goal for the Royals. This could be a big difference on a small penalty, breaking the huddle with too many men.
And here's the kick. That one, no good. So our score is 6-0, 2:49 here in the second quarter. And we'll take a quick break. You're listening to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. Welcome back to Prep Sports Network. Coming back from a touchdown, 17-yard completion from Kobe White to Tyler Garrett. Kobe White throwing his first 100-yard game in his high school career, 113 yards unofficially tonight.
And he's looked pretty good doing it. I mean, obviously Mission Prep isn't going to be the team that's going to do the, one-step drop, throw the slant, one-step drop, throw the screen, type of plays that pad a quarterback stat. They're a run-first team. And so to get over 100 yards in the first half, great work by White.
The short kick to the 24, picked up by Avila. He brings it out to the 40. And out taken down at the 44-yard line, spotted at the 45.
Well, and the Royals got the first and biggest goal of that last drive. They got 6 points out of it. That's what you want to get. But now we go with that second goal that I talked about. They left a lot of time on the clock. 2:41 left for the Panthers. That's a long time to score in a modern football offense. Even in the classic offense, the 2-minute drill, where if you got 2 minutes, you expect a touchdown. That was back in the 60s. Things move a little faster now.
Hand off to Avila. Avila finds some room in the gap. He gains a big 9 yards for the Panthers as the clock continues to run. 2:30 until the break.
And Pioneer knows in their minds they're getting the ball back half. So this could be a free possession essentially if they take care of the ball, if they run it, if they end up getting enough yards to where they're in scoring position, they'll get another crack at it when they come back out of the half. Big momentum change here for the Panthers is possible.
And the Panthers have all 3 timeouts remaining. Here's the snap handoff to Tommy Nunez, and Nunez gets blown up as he gains just enough for the first down.
Yeah, Drew Harrigan, the running back on the other side, some running back on running back violence. Bounce goes both ways. I think Tommy Nunez is feeling pretty good, but I think Drew Harrigan feeling just as good coming out of that bounce.
A big 2-yard gain with a big bounce and a big bang at the end. That's a ball spotted just beyond the 45. First and 10 for the Panthers. Rolling out is Vargas Hernandez. A pass tipped. That tipped pass nearly intercepted by the Royals as Caden Elmerick gets his fingertips on it.
And we talked about the importance of having that heads-up play, looking for the ball, making sure that you know where you are in space. We saw all of that from Elmerick there, getting his hands up, getting the deflection, almost getting the interception, but You know, as the DB coach at Fresno State used to always tell his guys, you're not a wide receiver. Just focus on getting that thing to the ground. Elmerick was able to get it to the ground.
That incomplete pass stops the clock. 1:52 remains here in the first half. Nunez up the middle as he gets dragged down by Connor Lopez. And that's enough for a first down as he's taken down at the 31-yard line. A 13-yard gain for Nunez.
This is where the Pioneer Valley Panthers have to get over that hump. This 30-yard line has been the space of nightmares for them. They've been having real issues once they get to this 30-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 31 for Pioneer Valley. The handoff up the middle, taken down, big hit.
Tommy Pachel on the tackle there, and he stood his ground and laid one on hard. You say, oh, well, open field tackles don't happen that often. Big, clean hit by Pachel, taking his man to the ground.
And it was Jalen Yap carrying that ball for a short gain, picking up 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Angel Vargas keeps it himself. The pitch option. And that goes nowhere quickly. And the pitch going out to Gavin Gomez.
This is just old-fashioned football. The veer option is probably one of the oldest kind of high-tech offenses out there. That veer forcing the ball to be pitched. Big, dangerous play each time it's happening. I feel like every time they've run the veer, Mission Prep is forced to pitch. They like forcing that ball to go into the hands of the running back. It seems counterintuitive. You might want to say you want to hit the quarterback as often as you can, but that pitch is so, so dangerous, and the Royals have done a great job forcing it each time that veer gets run.
3rd and 6 for Pioneer Valley. They're looking to keep this drive alive. Deep pass by Vargas Hernandez. That pass almost intercepted by Drew Harrigan, getting his fingertips on it, hitting the ground, but not coming down with the ball.
Gabe Rodriguez should have gotten a portion of that interception that may have happened. He had the quarterback pressure. He had the quarterback hit. Just a dropped ball by the defensive backs. And Gabe Rodriguez, David Schuster had this to say to him: you're one of my favorite players I've ever coached. He is such a fun guy at practice, one of those guys that is willing to play aggressively, and Coach Schuster loves that in him. Granted, he's being subbed out now from the looks of it.
Officials timeout.
Looks like a forced substitution to bring out Gabe Rodriguez there. I don't know what happened. Normally that happens when the, he must have had blood on him after that push down. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but he's getting attention from the trainer.
Caleb Alalim comes in for the substitution. 4th and 7 for the Panthers. Pass down the left sideline, and this one's broken up. Intended target for the Panthers, Marcus Robles. And George Kardashian breaking that one up. And another turnover on downs caused by the Mission Prep Royals, the 3rd one tonight.
Yeah, and I tell you what, there's going to be some guys in North Carolina that's actually Thomas Robles, but they're wrong probably. I've never met the guy, but Pastor Robles, come on. Great job on the 4th down. Great pass defense by the Mission Prep Royals. Couple good chances there. Good pressure up front. Defensive backs playing the game, knowing where the ball is, getting their hands on it. I really like what the Mission Prep Royals are doing with their pass defense.
And correction, it was Robledo. I had that wrong.
Okay.
Marcus Robledo was the intended target. Handoff by White out to the left side. And David Larrera trugging along, getting a few yards. 30 seconds left here in the first half. A 4-yard gain for Larrera.
Yeah, and they're starting and stopping the clock. I was about to say, they're probably just going to let this run out, and they are, as they're going to run off here. I was wondering why the clock was stopping, but they're going to keep it and finish things off.
So that brings the first half to a close. Mission Prep Royals 6, Pioneer Valley Panthers 0, as the Mission Prep Royals continue to hold their opponents without a touchdown in the first half. This is Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. We'll be right back with you for more football here from the Santa Maria Valley. set everything up. I can record on my laptop.
A couple extra announcements for halftime. If you're interested in becoming a booster or super sponsor, please contact the Pioneer Valley High School Athletic Department. I'd also like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that following tonight's varsity football game, we ask you to please remain social distancing, not enter the field, pursue CDPH guidelines for the safety of our players and equipment. Consider field gates will be locked. Please utilize south gates when exiting the facility. All visiting fans will exit from the northeast gate. Thank you very much.
I appreciate. I just wanted to know if you understood where I was coming from.
I also understand his point.
Yeah, but it felt like it got to a point where it was a little. It got to a point where every time I opened my phone and there was a message from him, it was like, give me something positive. That's why I just let it go too. I was like. Welcome back to Prep Sports Network. Shout out to Charles Summer, our buddy listening in Wisconsin. Wonder if he's keeping stats for us. If you heard our conversation on the break, we love you, Charles. Oh, I'm horrible.
Go ahead and give a look at that Santa Maria skyline out there.
Beautiful skyline.
Oh.
Thomas Bowden, let's be proper, is here doing a great job, all bundled up. Stephen Hodges wearing his suit and tie, a three-piece collection, and I'm just here.
Gotta dress up. It's not Friday night. It's Friday night mentally.
Yes.
Is where we're at. I give you the other area scores. There aren't any.
Yes.
Makes it real easy
out-of-town scoreboard.
Miracolo's Madness.
The out-of-town scoreboard is not populated tonight.
Out-of-town scoreboard has been unplugged. Check back Friday. Actually, no. I guess there's Valley Christians playing tomorrow. So check back tomorrow.
Check back tomorrow. Let's go over some unofficial stats here for the first half. Drew Harrigan, 10 carries for 29 yards. Colby White, 2 carries for 23 yards. David Larrera, 2 carries for 4 yards. And Mr. Andrade, David Andrade, with 1 carry for -5 yards. Colby White at quarterback, 7 attempts, throwing 1 interception. I don't have him throwing an incompletion. Every pass he's thrown has been completed to somebody. He has 113 yards in his 7 attempts, 6 for 7 tonight. with 1 interception. His targets tonight, Tyler Garrett, 5 completions for 78 yards, and Owen Harrison, 1 completion for 35 yards. And that completion for 35 yards saw him hit the ground on the sideline, Mission Prep sideline. And I haven't seen him back in the game since he took that tumble on the sideline.
He's not back in the game yet. He did seem to be talking to the trainer, talking to the team doctor. Seems to be fine. He's not on the table right now. He hasn't been taken away.
Yeah.
So probably just a precautionary thing, or something that's going to take a little bit longer to understand and find out. So probably not going to see Owen Harrison the rest of the game. Had a fantastic catch, was playing well up until that point. So we'll keep an eye out, see if he makes a comeback.
And then on the other side of the ball, Tommy Nunez has 13 carries for 68 yards for Pioneer Valley, followed by trying to follow the math here. Daniel Avila has 8 carries for 50 yards. And as we move down, Rudy Mendez, 3 carries for 14 yards. Cardenas has 2 carries for 4 yards. Angel Vargas Hernandez, 2 carries for 4 yards. Jalen Yap, 1 carry for 2 yards, the big fullback. And Gomez has 1 carry for 1 yard. And Angel Vargas Hernandez, 0 for 3 in his passing attempts. Now, all these stats are unofficial. We try to keep them as we go along here. So do bear with us. You can get updated stats by midweek, or by this time, by probably the weekend. Probably by Saturday, they'd be up for both squads on Max Prep. You can find the link for Mission Prep's Max Prep on Prep Sports Network. Just click on their schedule tab under the radio link, and that's where you'll find that information. Just click on the schedule, and it'll take you right over. Don't forget, you can follow Prep Sports Network on Twitter, the Prep SN. Myself, Stanley on Sports. I'm Brian Stanley. With me tonight is my partner in crime, Stephan Hodges. You can follow him, Charles Summer, and myself, all 3 of us.
You can't follow me. I keep it. I'm like one of those heist movies. I put the package into 3 cars, drive 3 different directions. I'm in one of them. You won't know which.
That would be Slowpoke Sports on Twitter. And following this, we will be recording our podcast for that show, and we will be breaking down this game in detail and going over our top 10 in the world of Central Coast football, ranking the top 10 teams on the Central Coast, our picks for this weekend, and going forward. I'll tell you, I've had Pioneer Valley, I had Mission Prep winning all 3 games so far in coming in, and I think I was the only one from Slowpoke Sports that did pick Mission Prep in the season opener against the Napomo Titans, who on paper were scheduled to be a tough matchup, but somewhere in the grand scheme of 2021, things didn't work out the way the paperwork looked.
Well, it's a tough offseason for Napomo. They lost both an official coach and an unofficial coach, with their offensive lineman coach passing away, and then, of course, Sandy Pua, the father of Keyshawn Pua, their running back there currently, passing away recently. So it's been a very tough offseason for Napomo. Nothing but the best for that team. But, on the field, results aren't there, but I'm sure they're just happy to be playing and happy to be out there doing what they love.
Well, the results are there because they did beat Santa Maria last week. They were up 15-14, and then they got they were up, and then they got the interception as time expired and took it back for the pick 6.
Got that late field goal to put them ahead too. They finished that one out pretty well. I think maybe I just I got bittered on Napomo because of the whole experience, but I think I ended up picking against Santa Maria. You can check all of our picks weekly. Slowpoke Sports. We'll be doing a whole show after this, recapping this game, recapping that Tascadero game, which was crazy. So we'll be talking not just Mission Prep. If you want to stay up to date with all of the different sports, it's where we do it. And I try and keep up to date with all the different sports on that Twitter feed when I can. But like I said, it's a 3-man operation. I'm not taking any credit at all for that.
Let's go over where you can find these teams going forward. Next week, it's a Saturday matchup for Pioneer Valley. They are going to be at home hosting the team we were just speaking of, the Napomo Titans. So the Pioneer Valley.
Really long commute for that one.
Really,
Really pack that van to come over.
we should call that the river rivalry.
I mean, Napomo and Pioneer are natural rivals, right? They opened up their doors about the same time. They're right across the river. Anytime you talk to somebody from these schools, no, we're not rivals.
But we have the, across the nation we have the Red River rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have a couple other rivers out there that have rivalries with each other. Two rivers. Like, I don't like you river.
The bigger problem with calling it the river rivalry is there's no river in the Santa Maria riverbed. The battle of the bed.
The riverbed rivalry. Because we can't just call it the river rivalry. We call it the riverbed rivalry. And and then for your Mission Prep Royals,
Battle of the riverbed.
they'll be back
Battle of the River Banks.
on the 9th of April hosting, or they'll be at Santa Maria. So I have another long commute in my future, being from Santa Maria. It took me all of about 10 minutes to get here. I spent more time sitting at red lights than I did driving here. So
Yeah, and you're going to have to stop at even fewer red lights to get to Santa Maria.
yes, because I'm going to take the back streets because I don't have to cross Broadway or hit the freeway.
Yeah, I work in Napomo, so for me this was like, all right, I can make that drive.
Yeah,
That's easy.
You can get
I
on
live
that-
in Slow, so the Mission Prep games are like even easier. Like, all right, let's go home and take a different exit. Love it. Love working for this team. Anyway, let's talk about some second half keys for the Mission College
Yes,
Prep
please.
Royals, because that's probably what a halftime show is supposed to have, and we're out of that halftime show period as they're lining back up for the kickoff. For Mission Prep, they have to do a better job getting Drew Harrigan a little bit of time in the backfield. He's being met at the line of scrimmage, so get the push on defense. Gap assignments. Make sure that you're getting where you need to be to fill those spots and prevent the big damage that Pioneers have been able to do on the ground.
And back to receive the kickoff was Gavin Gomez and Tommy Nunez as that kick sails out of bounds. Gage Cheney kicking it out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Pioneer Valley Panthers at the 35-yard line. They are moving right to left, heading north. Here in the second half. Still 12 minutes on the clock as no time has expired following the kickoff. Your Mission Prep Royals lead the Pioneer Valley Panthers in this Ocean League matchup 6-0 following a 17-yard pass from White to Garrett. And here's a handoff to Vargas Hernandez to the running back, Avila. And Avila breaks loose for a first down. A 14-yard pickup for Avila.
There's some real questions about who is going to fill in for both the seniors last year as well as the juniors that have now decided to, the juniors last year or seniors this year that are not going to be playing. I really like what I'm seeing out of Tyler Garrett filling in for Sonny Berkeley. Has that extra gear and made a great tackle there.
Avila, Nunez with the ball this time as he tight ropes the sidelines to gain 3 yards.
And they're going back to that game of just coming right off the edge, going outside. Mission Prep is not allowing anything on the inside. Great compliment to the defensive line that there's not any room in those gaps. They're not able to put their foot in and get in between the tackles and make the real damage happen. They're forcing them outside. Those are more risky propositions for the Panthers.
Panthers 2nd and 7 just across the 50 into Mission Prep territory. And carrying the ball for the Panthers, Cardenas. And Cardenas gains 5 yards on the carry. 9 yards for Cardenas in this game. 3rd and 2. 11:21 on the clock. Handoff up the middle to the big body Cardenas. And Cardenas spins for the first down, gaining 4 yards on this carry.
Right after I say how good of a job they're doing up front, limiting the space between the tackles, there's a little bit of space being opened up. It's the same thing that Mission Prep uses on their offense, and Pioneer Valley's using on theirs. using the angles rather than just brute strength to win your matchups. It's a little bit of a different philosophy than the zone run games you're seeing in modern offenses.
Under center, Vargas Hernandez. And right up the middle is the running back. As they're spreading the love at running back, the Panthers are. Mendez carrying the ball. Mendez gaining 5 yards on his carry.
Gabe Rodriguez did a great job coming right up the gut, didn't allow the offensive center to get his hands on him, and ran right by the ball. It's one of those where he's doing so good, just was one step away from making a highlight reel play.
10:30 on the clock. Here's the snap. Mendez with the ball a second time, and he pushes his way forward for the first down, gaining 10 yards on this carry.
Yeah, the defensive line's gained penetration, but the more you watch it, it might be a little bit too much penetration as they're moving past the play. They need to get that 1 yard deep and find the ball. The ball is going past them, and if they are able to find it, they're going to be able to execute on it and get these tackles for loss that they could really use against this Silver T offense that we're seeing with Pioneer.
That clock should be running, but it is not. First and 10 from the 24-yard line, as the clock is now running. Up the middle carry by Mendez. Mendez gains 4 yards on this carry. 5 yards.
Go ahead and let you at home keep an eye on the clock as well as I toss into that pitcher-in-pitcher. And Pioneer on a drive right now. This is that momentum we were talking about where they knew they were getting the ball in the second half, so they could be a little risky on offense in that first half. Here, they're just getting back to their bread and butter, moving the ball well.
Cardenas carrying the ball, shakes away a couple tackles, and is finally taken down. Leading the charge for the Royals is the big man, David Lorera.
Yeah, David Lorera and Andrade coming in on that tackle as well. It's easy to pick out Andrade on the defense as he's got that big old club on his arm. Really use it to help finish things off. And you love to see the physicality from those lankier guys coming in to finish things off.
A short carry by Cardenas brings up a 3rd and 3. And Tommy Nunez carrying the ball this time, pushing forward to the 9-yard line. A 9-yard carry to the 9.
There's a lot to admire about Tommy Nunez's game. He's a small guy, but still carries a lot of power in his legs and is not afraid to make contact with someone. Here we see it there. He just took a Royal with him and pushed forward to get a 1st and goal.
9 minutes on the clock here in the 3rd quarter as Avila with the ball taken down at the 9-yard line. No gain. First brings up 2nd and goal from the 9.
Caden Elmerick and Connor Lopez combined to make that tackle, and that's what they need to be having happen. Once you make that contact, wrap him up, bring him down. There we see a great pack tackle by the Royals, executing on that defensive plan set out by the coaching staff.
There is a sparse crowd here at the ballpark in the time of the pandemic. Glad to see fans in the stadium. Handoff to Mendez. Mendez trying to push forward. He gets to the 5-yard line to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, a little flag on the play somewhere in there, so we'll keep an eye out and see what that was. But
the flag sets at the 4-yard line.
Pioneer still getting a good push up front, something that they're going to be keeping an eye on. Here, that could have been a hold. Oh, got some of the face mask from the looks of it.
Face masking on Pioneer mission prep, half the distance to the goal. So that's going to be 1st and goal from the 2.5 mark.
Yeah, it's going to be real close here. With how well Pioneer's been running, this is where your big guys up front have to execute and make sure nothing's available easy between the tackles.
Fumble and picked up in the backfield by Mission Prep, Tyler Garrett, but they're calling him down by contact at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, this is a great point to remember. It's high school ball. I'm not sure if he was down or not by the time that hit. There may have been movement. The ball definitely squared out as if it was not caused by the ground. But, Panthers going to keep the ball, get another shot at the end zone. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1.
2nd and goal from the 1, 7:47 in the 3rd quarter, 6-0. Mission Prep leads the Panthers. Vargas Hernandez gets gobbled up in the backfield.
You know, there's always that question. Why do you go to such a simplified game when you get to the end zone? Why don't you try and work things out to where, you know, you're running your normal offense? You know, if you're running a spread, why aren't you running screens, all that kind of stuff? The risk of a negative play is so much worse when you're down near the goal line than when you're in the open field. And we see it there, just Vargas going down, making that 2 into a 3 or 4.
3rd and 3 for the Panthers. Vargas Hernandez rolls out. A dump pass to Tommy Nunez. That pass is complete for a 3-yard touchdown. 7:03 on the clock. We are tied at 6 here in the 3rd quarter.
Good coverage by the Royals in general, just the running back completely unaccounted for, and it's a tough spot to try and stop the quarterback running into the end zone and cover the running back at the same time. Excellent execution on that just pinch play almost between the quarterback and the running back, and Vargas
Hernandez to
Vargas
Nunez.
to Nunez. I did say it correctly. I just almost caught myself not. Vargas to Nunez, great connection, something that we've been seeing as far as the run game goes. Finally get one done aerially.
And for the first time this season, the Mission Prep Royals trail in a game 7-6 to the Pioneer Valley Panthers as that kick is good. And Pioneer Valley is set to get the ball back here in the 3rd quarter. That is the first 3rd quarter touchdown the Mission Prep Royals have allowed in this young, short 2020-21 season.
Well, I tell you what, it is a matter of time. Pioneer have been making a lot of mistakes through the entire first half. Here we see, you know, everything's moving correctly, everything's going well. The chariot's getting pulled, and then it goes all the way to the end zone. Pioneer has got a fantastic offense working for them right now, and they could end up making some noise even though they're joining late in this Ocean League.
Right now, the league title technically in the hands of the Royals, as they are the only undefeated team in the Ocean League at 2-0.
I mean, the title's not in your hands until the end of the season. I'd still say the title's technically in the hands of Templeton, who's not competing for it this season.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let you have that one. Drew Harrigan back to receive the opening kickoff. And it bounces into his hands. And he's taken down at the 27-yard line. And that's where the Mission Prep Royals will begin their first drive of the 2nd half.
We're seeing more and more of that sky kick. It's obvious why tonight, because Mission Prep going with a replacement kicker. Pioneer Valley may just not trust the leg that much, but it's a fantastic strategy because all in all, you're looking at a situation where you can get your coverage team on top of the guy, and you can make sure that you're not going to be having to cover the entire field. You can direct put it onto one of the numbers and really limit the return. I like the sky kick, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it going forward.
Sky kick is a lot more interesting than kicking it out of the back of the end zone, as Daniel Avila up from the turf jogs off the field under his own power. Mission Prep steps to the line. First play of offense here in the 2nd half for them. White under center. Hands it off. Harrigan gains 2 yards.
Yeah, the average gain for Harrigan, I mean, when you take away some of his bigger gashes, it's been under 2 yards. I mean, he's making 1 to 2 yard rushes. The room hasn't really been there. They got to really get that push up front. Maybe try a little bit more of the counters, try to attack in different spots. Just because you're running the ball doesn't mean you got to run it straight forward and be predictable with it.
Unofficially averaging 2.8 yards a carry on 11 carries. That pass complete to Harrigan, and that's enough for a first down. Out across the 40, just shy of the 45-yard line. Still in Mission Prep territory down at the 43. A 13-yard completion to Harrigan.
Harrigan's first reception of the year, and we talk about getting him room and space. There you go. Out there, downfield, one-on-one with defensive backs. It's a running back's dream when you can get put into the pass routes like that, and Harrigan executes on it well, gets a new set of downs.
New set of downs for the Royals. 1st and 10 at their own 43. Rolling out of the pocket is White, looking for a receiver, motioning to Connor Lopez to get open, and that gives him enough room to gain a few yards, and he picks up 5 as he just comes up 2 yards short of the midfield line.
We could see Mission Prep starting to rely on this open passing game more. It's not really their style, not something that I think that you really want to bet the bank on going forward, but it's something that I think is being extremely effective against the Panthers. Panthers are such a big, heavy team that the Royals are able to go out and get open guys through this wide open set. They've got more speed than the Panthers, and I think they're ready to show it off a little.
5:57 on the clock, waiting for the snap to start the timer here. Shotgun snap up over White's head, gets on it in time, and he's down at the 36-yard line following that bad snap, and that is a loss of more than 10 yards. Not where you want to be right now to bring up 3rd and 17, or 3rd and 15, excuse me.
Well, and that'll happen when you get into more of a shotgun set. We were talking about why, hey, maybe this isn't something that you rely on for the long term. Well, that's one of the risks why you may not rely on it for the long term. Snap goes over his head, and just when you're going from snapping under center to snapping a shotgun snap, even if it's something you're used to doing, that motion, that muscle memory can sometimes betray you. I used to play center. I know it's not as easy as just, well, when you do this, you do this. When you do that, you do that. It takes a little bit of getting used to going between the two.
Confidence in the offense still in the shotgun. Another high snap. White able to keep his hands on it. Passes it out to the sideline. And I believe that, yep, that's who I believe it was. Grant Callahan, his first reception of the night.
Yeah, Grant Callahan came into the game, 2 receptions, 24 yards, and a touchdown catch. Here we're going to see the Mission Prep Royals come out with their punt set. I'm a little surprised, but I think, honestly, in such a low-scoring game, they're willing to roll the dice with the defense and just hope they can get the ball back, especially with how prone to turnovers both teams have been.
4th and 5 for the Royals. Back to punt this one. Gage Cheney, excuse me. And here's the flag, encroachment on the defense.
Yeah, it looks like it's a offsides call, and in high school you don't need contact. I didn't see any contact up front, but
no,
that was clear enough.
It was on the right side of the defensive line. He just jumped. He got a little eager. And 4th and inches for the Royals. 4:16 in the third quarter. They're down by 1. In 10 quarters of football, they didn't trail in a single quarter, and now they trail by 1 point. As they look to get the first down here, they sent the punting unit off the field, brought in the first team offense. Under center is White, and he hands it off to Harrigan, and Harrigan blasts through that line.
Yeah, using the hard count on that punt in order to instigate an offsides, and then really a bit of a mind game for the Royals. It may look straightforward. Yeah, it's a dive play. But Pioneer's first job, making sure Colby White didn't dive for it. Colby White's got a long body, easy to just pick up that 1 yard. They all pinch down, opens up the spot just to the right of the guard. There goes Drew Harrigan for the first down. Great play design. One of those that's, things that you don't necessarily consider, but offensive coordinators don't stop considering.
3:53. A new set of downs for the Royals following that 5-yard pickup by Harrigan. And we have a whistle on the field. Delay of game on the offense. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Puts them at 1st and 15 from Pioneer Valley's 48-yard line.
Yeah, we had some quick whistles earlier in the night. I feel like this one's a little more deserved. Mission Prep taking a little bit more time than they need to consider these plays and go through their options. Especially when you're on this far hash and you're calling the plays by sending in your quarterback. you got to make sure that you're getting them in quickly because you don't got a lot of time to think things over when you got a guy running wind sprints to start the game.
1st and 15, working from the shotgun, Colby White. One running back in the backfield, David Larrera, takes that handoff as the running back, and he gains a yard on the play before he is taken down.
Yeah, David Loera running right behind his brother, Mario Loera, and he's got to be looking at him just like, you know, they've had such a great time at Mission Prep. They started off the first game. Mario forced a pick for David, so it's great seeing these guys going back and forth, just being able to play right next to each other, both on offense and defense.
Spread set, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Pass into the backfield, and that pass intended and complete to Tyler Garrett.
And just trying to do that quick pivot tunnel screen. It's something that really supplants the run very well because you force the defense to respect the perimeter a little bit more than they might normally do. There, you throw the ball behind them, and you know, it's one of those, maybe you just bat down if you're the wide receiver because he made a fantastic catch, but it ended up costing them yardage, something you just don't want to see.
A loss of 2 yards on that play, making the diving catch. And the handoff to Harrigan, and Harrigan gets to the 45 of Pioneer Valley, gaining 4 yards, and that brings up 4th and 12 for Mission Prep.
And this is where they're probably going to have to punt for real. They might go for that hard count again, but if they do that, you're still only going to end up between the sticks. You're not going to get close to that first down marker that you might want, so probably a very real situation to punt here.
Gage Cheney back to punt. Tommy Nunez back to receive from Pioneer Valley. Good punt. Rolls inside the 15. Picked up by Nunez. He's got some field in front of him. And Nunez just lays out the defender. Put in the pads to Aiden Dalen.
Now, I tell you what, this guy's been running all night. He plays offense and defense. I am impressed by Nunez. Time after time, when the chance comes, he chooses violence each time. Never wants to run around a guy. He wants to run through every white jersey he comes across. What a great job by Nunez there, getting the extra yards. I'm becoming a real big fan of this guy.
If nothing else fails, he's securing his spot in the Allen Hancock roster in the near future.
Well, it looks like we got a timeout here on the field by Pioneer.
We're going to go ahead and take this timeout with him. You're listening to Mission Prep Football and watching it as well on Prep Sports Network. Welcome back to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. You're watching on YouTube, listening on Spreaker, PrepSportsNet.com. Our score 7-6. Pioneer Valley leads Mission Prep here in the third quarter. 1:08 remaining. 1st and 10 for Pioneer Valley as they get the ball. Tommy Nunez running out to the left side, out past the 30-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the 31. Or an even 30, giving him a 5-yard pickup.
Now, I feel like Tommy Nunez is running with a vengeance here. He picked up that full 10 yards off the punt return, and now he wants to do something with that extra yardage, really make this offense shine here as the lights are on here in Pioneer Valley.
Nunez again with the ball. And Nunez with 4 yards on this carry. Unofficially, 89 yards on 17 carries.
And the funny thing about it is you compare it to his season stats last year, that's only a little bit above average. He was well over 86 yards per carry last year, so, just getting warmed up. 5.2 yards per carry so far tonight.
3rd and 1 for Mission Prep, or first, Pioneer Valley. No, yes, Pioneer Valley. I'm all confused with them all for the moment. And Cardenas gains enough for the first down with that 2-yard carry.
Well, I tell you what, Pioneer Valley, just picking up all these certain shorts, it's one thing to get the ball to where you can have a manageable distance. It's another thing to execute it on, and they've executed on it each time tonight as the quarter is going to come to a close.
And giving up their first touchdown in the third quarter, the Mission Prep first touchdown in the third quarter this season. The Mission Prep Royals trail the Pioneer Valley Panthers 7-6. We have 12 minutes to go until the conclusion of this one here at Panther Stadium in the city of Santa Maria in the beautiful state of California. We'll be right back.
Hey, that's a new one.
Welcome back to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. You're watching on YouTube, listening on Spreaker, PrepSportsNet.com. I'm Brian Stanley. Joining me, Stephan, Hodges, and Thomas Bowden. And with the ball, Pioneer Valley looking to continue their drive across the 50. And first and 10 on the carry by Nunez. Cardenas with a couple yards. That brings up 2nd and 7 for the Panthers as they lead by 1.
Yeah, this run game has been so effective all night for the Panthers. Just doing a great job their first game of the season, and they look refreshed.
Handoff. The man in motion, trying to find some room out on the right side. And he's taken down with no gain. And that big running back is Gomez.
Yeah, Elmerick having another good tackle tonight. He's been fantastic picking up those sweep plays. They've been running at him, and he's saying, I'm not backing down. Each time he gets challenged, he's answering the bell, making another tackle, forcing a 3rd and long for the Panthers.
A 3rd and long, that being 7 yards. For the first down, Panthers trying to keep this drive alive. Don't want the offense of Mission Prep back on the field. Vargas Hernandez rolling out of the pocket to his left outside the hash marks, and he gets pushed out of bounds by the big man. I'm saying big man on the lot tonight. I need to change that. That's David Andrade, the man with the club.
Well, Mario Loera was on that as well, and he did a great job keeping up with Vargas Hernandez the entire way as he rolled out there. Vargas Hernandez never had a chance to plant his feet, look downfield, never had a chance to really re-engage the play. He just had to run to the sideline because Super Mario there was on his heels the whole way.
10:32 as the clock stopped following the run out of bounds. The punt unit's on the field on 4th and 9. Here's the punt. This one's a good one as they call grenade. And it is picked up by the Panthers at the 32-yard line of Mission Prep, where the Royals will start 1st and 10, heading north toward San Luis Obispo, looking to finish this one out with a couple more touchdowns before they hit the drive home to Mission College Prep.
Well, right now the Royals have struggled on offense. They've switched their styles up a little bit. They started out run heavy. Room wasn't really there. They've gone to more of a spread attack, and they've had issues with the snap. I'll be curious what well they go back to get their water to try and refresh themselves on this drive.
Drew Harrigan folded up in the backfield. A loss of 1.
Yeah, sustained block on the left side just wasn't there. Got overpowered a little bit, and Drew Harrigan, reading the play side, just didn't see the defender coming in and ends up going down for the loss. Harrigan's done a really good job despite confrontations in the backfield, making sure he gets the line of scrimmage or more. We don't see it there as Harrigan gets dropped for a -1.
The passing game has worked well for the Royals. Unofficially 134 yards. And Harrigan with the carry once again. This one, he gains 3 yards. 3rd and 8 for the Royals. 42 yards on 15 carries tonight for Harrigan.
Yeah, Harrigan not getting the normal relief effort that he can get with Jack Susank back there. Susank, a leader in Kairos, not available tonight for the game.
Pass quickly out to the right side. Tyler Garrett with the completion. He shakes off one defender and gets out to the 40-yard line before he's hit by a second and taken down. That is a gain of 6 on that completion.
You might be saying, hey, why'd they run a naked screen when you needed 9 yards to get the first down? Well, you know the defenders are going to be backed off playing the sticks. You're going to have that cushion naturally for the wide receiver to then get the ball, move upfield. And it's a great job by both Tyler Garrett and Colby White executing on that play to make it a 4th and short, and this is doable now.
4th and 2 for the Royals. The home crowd getting excited here. You can hear the feet stomping. The handoff to Drew Harrigan. He tries to get out to the left side, or the right side, and the defense stuffs him at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Pioneer Valley ball at Mission Prep's 40-yard line.
Give Pioneer Valley a lot of credit. The power right, the strong side power that Mission Prep runs is one of their best plays. Year after year, 8-man, 11-man, doesn't matter. Right there, we just saw Mission Prep put their best play into practice, and the Panthers stuffed it, shutting it down. That defense is big up front, and they know how to use their size.
7-6, Pioneer Valley leads Mission Prep. 8:16 to go in this game. And Angel Vargas Hernandez hands it off and stopped in the backfield by Connor Lopez and Mario Lorera is Tommy Nunez.
And this is where the Panthers are going to be relying on that run game more than ever. They're doing a little clock watching, looking at 8 minutes left. You got to shave as much off as possible, because if you get that ball back, it could be ball game if you're able to put the ball in the end zone here.
2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Rolling out of the pocket after the fake is Vargas Hernandez. That pass complete on the sideline. And coming up with that one, Aiden Rubicava.
Yeah, Rubicava just disappeared into the defense and reappeared wide open on the side. That tight end position is so tricky to cover because you don't want to let him get your hands on you if he's blocking. But if he's going out into the route there, you got to be right in his pocket because he's such a big target, you're not going to catch back up to him and be able to cover him. Rubicava just on that leak gets wide open on the play action and is able to execute with a great catch.
A 13-yard pickup, first completed pass for the Panthers tonight. Vargas Hernandez hands it off, gaining some room up the middle before the dump. Mendez on that carry.
Yeah, this is just a powerful run offense from Pioneer Valley. We didn't see it last year. It's been a little bit conspicuously gone. This Pioneer team is coming back to life, and I gotta believe John Beck is feeling really good about how they're coming out in this odd season, going up against a defense that proved to be very stout through the first 2 games of the year.
7:05 as the clock continues to run. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line for the Panthers. And a run up the middle. Connor Lopez on the tackle as Mendez with the carry once again. And he gets enough for the first down. A 5-yard pickup for Mendez.
For Pioneer Valley, they're looking at the scoreboard and saying, is there any point in kicking a field goal here? Sure, you're going to end up making it so Mission Prep can't kick a field goal in response, but without their primary kicker tonight, well, that's not as much of a threat. You might just want to go for a touchdown or broke on this drive, even if you end up getting close on a 4th down.
Vargas Hernandez under center once again. The handoff. Tommy Nunez finds some room, 5-yard line, and he stumbles into the end zone for the score. 16-yard touchdown for Tommy Nunez.
Yeah, once again, you want a theme for this game. It's Tommy Nunez chooses violence. Blows through the defense in front of him, just cutting on an angle that made him extremely hard to tackle. Anytime anyone got a hand on him, immediately cleared it off of himself and found his way into the end zone. What a great job by Tommy Nunez. I'm so impressed by this back. He's going to probably have a little bit of a hard time getting recruited, but he absolutely deserves it, even though he's a little bit undersized for your typical prototypical running back, as we see a sweep here on a faked field goal off a botched snap, and this will be a failed point after touchdown attempt.
And that that failed attempt does not set them up very good, because now it's a single score game with an extra point.
Or you're running for it all and you're going to go for 2 at the end. We saw the kick not get as much loft under it as they might like on the last one. So really it's a question of, what do you want to get up to if you're Mission Prep? Do you play for the win or do you play for the tie right now? I wouldn't be surprised if in their mind they've already got that 2-point play, and that's what they're going to be aiming for.
And this message coming from our boss, Chris Sylvester. Sounds great, fellas. Really proud. So thank you, Mr. Sylvester, for your vote of confidence tonight as Prep Sports Network continues to expand on the Central Coast, bringing you Mission Prep athletics in its entirety. Coming up, we are planning for the basketball season. First tentative date for that is April 15th, a tip-off for basketball. More information to come. Follow Prep Sports Network on Twitter, the Prep SN. Brian Stanley, that's me. You can follow me, Stanley on Sports. Stephen Hodges, and all the folks at Slowpoke Sports at Slowpoke Sports.
There you go.
And here's the kickoff. Back to get this one is Harrigan, or excuse me, that is Kardashian. And Kardashian works his way up to the 35-yard line before he is shoved out of bounds.
I'm looking forward to what George Kardashian turns into as he matures during his time at Mission College Prep. Obviously, the cousin of Dalton Strauss, the current Cowboy out there in Wyoming, he's got the athletic talents to really make himself something special in the next couple years. Something that, when he finds his place in this team, he's going to make his mark and his legacy going forward. I really enjoyed watching him during the JV games last year.
Timeout, Pioneer Valley. 6:20 here in the fourth quarter. Pioneer Valley leads the Royals 13-6, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout with them. You're listening to Mission Prep Football on Prep Sports Network. Welcome back to Panther Stadium in the city of Santa Maria. 6:20 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Pioneer Valley Panthers lead the Mission Prep Royals 13-6. Royals begin their next drive of this game, 1st and 10 from their own 35, as White keeps it himself with a fake handoff to Larrera, and he makes his way out to the 39-yard line before he is taken down.
Yeah, we're going to see more of this kind of up-tempo kind of stuff. It's been the best offensive tools for the Royals tonight. I don't think we're going to see that typical shallow split back set, power right, you know, counter, power right. We're going to see much more screens, quarterback keepers, a little bit of zone read, some stuff that you don't typically see from the Royals. I'm excited for it.
Switching to the shotgun set. 2 receivers to each side. Pass into the backfield to Larrera, and Larrera loses a yard on this one.
Nice little swing pass out to David Larrera. This has been a fantastic, you know, job by the offense going to a spread set. It's a different set of skills entirely, and you know, as much as I love Cal Poly, you can tell that going from power to spread can really be an issue. But the offensive lines have kept up. The skilled positions on the side have done a great job keeping their speed up. And Colby White, the most important crux in all of this, doing a great job at quarterback.
3rd and 6 for the Royals. White trying to find some room as he stretches the ball out, gaining a yard to the 40-yard line of Mission Prep.
And if I'm Mission Prep, this is a must-go situation. I mean, I like what I saw with Colby White there. He just had great patience, waited for the defender to pass, and just ended up getting caught by the next guy up. Colby White, I got a lot of trust in, and I'm not sure I'm going to have another chance to get ahead in this game or tie the game, depending on how they're feeling as they get to the end, as you're going to have right now. You got to go for it, and looks like they will.
Pioneer Valley Panthers, the Mission Prep Royals going forward on 4th and 5 here. Shotgun snap to White, passes it over to Drew Harrigan, who takes a big hit and loses connection with the ball. The defense comes up big for the Pioneer Valley Panthers.
And that vertical route when you got a running back as the slot receiver, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. You're putting the running back into space right where he's comfortable in the middle of the field. Harrigan got his hands on the ball, ended up not being able to hang on. And that's a tough break because now it's up to the Mission Prep defense to come up big, force a turnover, and get the ball back for their offense. This is a tough game for the Royals right now.
An incomplete pass leads to a turnover on downs. Vargas Hernandez hands it off to Tommy Nunez. Nunez with some green in front of him, trying to break some tackles. And he's finally taken down by Andrade after gaining some big yardage out into the 20-yard line. And that is a 22-yard pickup for Nunez. And Nunez just keeps plowing like a workhorse.
Nunez is doing a great job tonight. He's probably the best running back in the Ocean League from what I've seen. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people upset about that, but boy, I am impressed tonight on what I've seen against a very stingy run defense from the Royals, what Nunez has been able to do.
Up the middle this time, it's Mendez with the carry. 127 yards unofficially for Nunez on 20 touches and a touchdown.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is a guy that's not the biggest guy, not necessarily even the fastest guy, but he finds his angles and is not afraid of contact. He's going to find somewhere to play going forward, and I'm so happy that we got to have this extra season so he could really show what he's turned into as a running back.
2nd and 6 for the Royals, or for the Panthers. And some excitement on the field. Mendez carrying the ball, and he gains enough for the first down.
Waiting for an indication. The offense is coming on the field for the Royals. They're going to say that the Royals recovered that fumble, Brian. The Royals still got a chance.
They still haven't given an indication either way, but he did.
There it is.
There it is, finally. In the scrum, the Royals come up with a fumble. Mendez did have a good carry on that. He had 5 yards before he lost the ball.
Oh, would have been down inside the 10, and oh my goodness, there is a lot of gasping happening in San Luis Obispo right now.
2:57 remain in this game. Mission Prep's ball. They still have a chance to get back in this. White throws it out to the right side. That pass over the head of Owen Harrison. We haven't seen him in some time in this game, but he's back.
Yeah, it is a great pass. Recognized the mismatch on the right side. Rolled back from the left to the right. Downfield, just a little bit high and out of bounds. It is, one of those where you're probably not expecting a completion, but that mismatch is going to stick in the mind of the Royals. They know it's there. They're going to go back to it. The question is Pioneer going to adjust and put another safety out to that side?
Pioneer Valley leads by 7, 13-6 over the Royals. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line of Pioneer Valley, of the Royals, as White shakes and bakes down the field, down the right hash mark, and he gains enough for the first down from the 8 to the 25. And that's a 17-yard pickup.
Well, we're going to keep that pitcher-in-pitcher right onto the scoreboard so you can keep an eye on the clock. Colby White keeping the things moving. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth about the quarterbacks at Mission College Prep. This is a running back school. You may not expect the quarterback to end up being relied on as the star. It's happening tonight, and Colby White is taking his curtain call with pride as they got a possession to do something.
1st and 10 for the Royals. White rolling out to his left side, still between the hash marks, back to the right, trying to get away from the defenders. He's past the first down, the down marker, and he gains just enough yards to move the stick for the down marker.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm really excited for Colby White. He's got a lot of speed when he needs to get moving. There is a down Royal on the play, though.
That is Colby White. He jumps right back up to his feet after getting a quick look.
Well, it looks like they're going to be coming back with they got to sub him out. We'll see who comes in at backup quarterback here as he's popped up, but this is quite a time between plays.
They have stopped the clock at 1:57 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be David Luera coming in to fill in at quarterback as we got a quick look at what's going on the sideline there. And David Luera, took those backup reps during the warm-ups, and he should be ready for this situation. But I'm going to be surprised if they rely on, they're back out of that spread set.
Working under center is Lorera, and the ball goes right up the middle. I believe that is Harrison with that ball.
I don't know. It says it's Susank, but Susank's he's not supposed to be here tonight.
He is not supposed to be here.
This is a WWE moment, Brian Stanley.
What are we doing here? We'll give number 6 some credit there. That ball, where was that ball originally spotted at? Help me out here.
I could not tell you. I'm blown away that Jack Susank just got a carry when he's not in the building.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 45. And I believe that he's running like Jack Susank.
All right, well, there we go. They talked about that running back combination, how effective it's been all night and how they were missing it. And I guess that's Jack Susank back in the game from from parts unknown. By God, Brian Stanley.
By God, it is. Where's Jim Ross when you need him? 1:30 on the clock, and there's some excitement for the Royals. And we're having a good time. Right up the pitch outside to Drew Harrigan. He finds some room, and he's unable to shake the tackle, but he's taken down at the 30-yard line of the Panthers. And there's some excitement coming from the Mission Prep sideline.
I tell you what, it's Holy Week. It's time for miracles. It's time for guys to come out from nowhere and run the ball. It's time for Mission Prep to have the ball with under a couple minutes and be knocking at the end zone. They do got to keep an eye on that clock, though. They're only on the 31-yard line, and we're almost under a minute here.
31-yard line, 1:06 on the clock. They still have 3 timeouts as Mission Prep. And the handoff to Jack Susank. I guess that's Jack Susank. We were told he's not here, so we are going to call that Jack Susank until we're told otherwise.
Yeah, and this is something else. I tell you what a surprising turn of events here in Pioneer Valley. we're going to have a timeout here to conserve some clock as, you know, this is such a weird set of circumstances. I say, you know, miracles lightly, but this is a game that wasn't supposed to happen. In a lot of people's point of view, they thought the Pioneer Valley positive tests were going to end up cutting into this, and it's a Wednesday night, so it's a little unclear if this was even going to happen. We're ended up having one of the greatest drives in Royals history.
I did send Coach a text. I don't expect him to respond right now. All it says was Susink with a question mark. I think he's going to know what I mean.
You know, it's it's pretty clear. I'm a little biased here. I think Coach Schuster might be a little busy. Might have something else on his mind.
Of course. He's trying to win this ball game. Did he make that halftime call? Bring in the reliever.
Oh,
he called to go to the bullpen.
Yeah, go to the bullpen with at the fourth quarter, last drive of the game. Your quarterback's injured, and you bring back a running back. Incredible.
White under center and plowing through the line of defense is the running back for the Royals. As we wait for the bodies to come up, that is number 6, who we're crediting as Jack Susink.
Well, I tell you what, they got to keep an eye on this clock.
40
under
seconds.
40.
As the clock continues to run here, 3rd and 4 for the Royals at the 25 of Pioneer Valley. Jack Susink diving over the line, and he comes up short by 2 yards, or a yard that is. That's going to bring up 4th and 1 for Mission Prep.
Yeah, second charge timeout for the Royals. We'll keep it here, though, because my goodness.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Let's walk through what we just saw on this drive. Mission Prep gets a fumble to start the drive inside their own 10.
Correct.
Then begins driving down the field using a spread offense. Colby White pulls off some fantastic plays, ends up going out for a play. Somehow in comes Jack Susink with David Luera at quarterback. They get enough yards to push into Pioneer Valley territory, and here we are, 4th and short, 27 seconds left. Mission Prep has the ball down 13-6, and boy, this is the week to have something unexpected happen, isn't it, Brian?
This is the week as the scoreboard is now flashing. That is interesting. The red lettering went off and on. It is 4th and 2 for the Royals from the 23-yard line. And up the middle, it looks like they got enough for the first down. The Panthers are saying no. The officials.
Both side judges got them marked forward at the 20.
They're moving the
21
sticks.
was the line to gain, so they got as much time as it takes to move the sticks. The clock's already moving, though. That's not how it's supposed to go in high school.
This clock should have stopped on the moving the sticks. White taken down in the backfield for the sack. A big sack for the Panthers at the 30-yard line. The clock stops at 9:02 as Jalen Yap makes the big stop for the Panthers.
Well, 9.2 seconds. He got 2 plays so long as one of them's incomplete or to the boundary. So while I might say it's time for a Hail Mary, well, you know, maybe we do, something else before that. Lord's Prayer, perhaps, to start this one off. Then you move to the Hail Mary. I tell you what, 30 yards to go, 2nd down. You got some options, Brian. It's not Mission Prep's bread and butter going for these long balls, but they've got the capability. They've shown it tonight.
Well, Colby White does have a completed 35-yard pass and a completed 33-yard pass. So everything's in realm here.
Yeah, nothing that he hasn't done so far, not just this season, but in this game.
So it's 2nd and 30 for the Royals with 9 seconds to go. Deep pass down into the right corner. Jump pass. They're saying that pass is incomplete.
While they're going to that mismatch with Grant Callahan being put up against that far right safety. And that was there's a height disadvantage for Pioneer there. I expect him to go back to Grant Callahan again, even though that one didn't work because it was in and out of the hands, had a chance. Not the worst idea, but you're also down to 2 seconds. So something in the middle of the field could be your call as well. And as I said earlier, you better be done with that Lord's Prayer. It's time for the Hail Mary.
2.1 seconds for all the marbles right now. 13-6 our score. Pioneer Valley leads Mission Prep. It's 3rd and 30. 3rd and 20 from the 30, that is. Deep pass on the right side. That one's out of bounds, and that's the ball game. Mission Prep falls to 2-1, losing to Pioneer Valley 13-6 as Pioneer Valley opens this 2021 season with a 13-6 win over Mission Prep.
I tell you what, great start to the season for Pioneer Valley. They gave Mission their best. Mission Prep coming in on a short week of rest. I thought we didn't really mention that much.
Yeah.
You know, you're going from a Friday to a Wednesday game. This was a rest versus rust type of game for Pioneer Valley. They came out more than willing and able to answer the bell. Great job by Pioneer. No discredit to Mission Prep. They came out, had a fantastic game. Just a little bit of a size disadvantage ended up being the difference.
As the coaches meet at midfield, David Schuster and John Beck. Again, our final score here from Panther Stadium in the beautiful city of Santa Maria in the great state of California. 13-6. Pioneer Valley improves to 1-0 in the Ocean League. Mission Prep falls to 2-1. And following that Jack Susank sighting, my stats went out the window, so we're not going to review my stats. But we can review the touchdowns that we've had tonight. We're going to start with Mission Prep on the board first. 17-yard pass from White. From White to Tyler Garrett in the second quarter. The kick was no good. And then PV got on the board in the third quarter to take the lead. It was a 3-yard pass from Vargas Hernandez to Tommy Nunez. The kick on that one, very good. And then Pioneer Valley scored in the fourth quarter, 6:25 to go in the ball game. A 16-yard run by Tommy Nunez. That kick was botched, and the attempt to get it in on the two-pointer, no good.
Yeah, what a coming out party for Tommy Nunez tonight. Has a fantastic game to start off his senior season. One that, you know, a few months ago, everyone was telling me, we're not sure if we're even going to have this. And I think Nunez is probably going to be the first one in line to tell you, I don't care if there's playoffs. I don't care what people are going to say about this season. He had a lot of fun tonight. So, of course, for Mission Prep is a tough one. You had some players missing. Kane Chaney up front. Jack Susek, guess coming back.
We'll talk about that on the Slowpoke Sports Third
We'll
night.
talk about that when we get more information on that. Of course, both leaders in Kairos, so even if they were missing the entire night, and that's the ghost of someone dressing up, it's the time of year for people to show up unexpected, right?
Are you saying that's Patrick Swayze?
I'm saying that's Elijah. We kept the seat for me available. Passover was a week ago. It happens. I don't know. Point is, I'm very excited by this game. I'm excited for the Royals team. 2-1's nothing to get disappointed about. 1-0 for Pioneer Valley. And, you know, this is a team that I think is going to make some noise. I'm really, you know, we might be to the point that the top game for the Ocean League this year could end up being that Santa Maria Pioneer game. Always a rivalry game, and Pioneer might be playing for the Ocean League at that point.
Yeah. Now I said that Destiny was in Mission Prep's hand midway through the game. I might have been the one to jinx this one. Now it's a complete toss-up. The only undefeated team right now is going to be Pioneer Valley at 1-0. They only have a 4-game schedule this season. I don't know how that officially plays into the standings when it was all said and done. Currently, Atascadero 0-2. Santa Maria 1-1, Napomo 1-1, and Mission Prep 2-1. A bunch of games slated for Friday night. Follow Slowpoke Sports on Twitter, SLOPOC Sports. We'll bring you all the information you need to know where to find your games. I'm Brian Stanley. You can follow me on Twitter, Stanley on Sports. Follow Prep Sports Network on Twitter, The Prep SN, for all your broadcast updates for Mission Prep as we gear up for basketball. for Chris Sylvester, Charles Summer. Before I go, you look like you want to say something.
I was going to say, don't forget, as Isaiah 6'8", the message this year for Mission College Prep, we will, if you need an Easter passage, I think it's a pretty good one this year.
We will. And we will be back on Friday, April 9th for our next broadcast as the Mission Prep Royals travel back to Santa Maria to play my alma mater, the Santa Maria Saints. But I'll tell you now, rooting for the Royals. They are my pick. Let's go Royals. But as I was saying, for Charles Summer, who helps keep stats, text us throughout the game, not today, but he did give us a few things. Charles Summer, Chris Sylvester, Athletic Director of Mission Prep, Kevin Hitchin, Mike Susank, the principal, David Schuster, the head coach of Mission Prep, for bringing us on campus. For Thomas Bowden, Stephen Hodges, and Brian Stanley. We're going to call it a night here from Panthers Stadium. Our final score, 13-6. The Pioneer Valley Panthers beat the Mission Prep Royals.